Real-world asset tokenization on the XRP ledger recently reached $1 billion. The number has increased from a few hundred million to a billion. What took place here? What does the XRP ledger's real-world asset tokenization future hold? What benefits will XRP holders receive? And how much value can we actually capture? Let's dive right in and learn more about everything that is going on. For you, I have all the background. Just to provide you an update, it seems that some material on the realworldasset.xyz website was previously misrepresented. Perhaps there was some background activity. We are not yet at $1 billion because there is not $941 million. We have this information in real time. So I just wanted to make it clear that this was recorded this morning as you watched the video. I just finished my live broadcast. And I wanted to make sure that I told you that if I saw in this video that we've hit $1 billion, it was before I had this information. I hope this video is useful to you. I put a lot of effort into discussing the advantages of tokenization on the XRP ledger. There's a ton of amazing information, but keep in mind that we haven't reached $1 billion. I will provide you with the information and updates as soon as we obtain them. The amount is $190 million. Vert Capital has $941 million in tokenized assets, according to a post by Mr. Kevin Cage. And I thought, okay, all right. By turning assets like debt, receivables, and tangible commodities into digital tokens, Vert Capital is quickly revolutionizing traditional banking through the tokenization of real-world assets using blockchains like the XRP ledger and XTC network. Asset classes that were previously illiquid or difficult for the majority of investors to access now have increased liquidity, transparency, and worldwide accessibility because to this process. An excellent illustration of this tendency is Vert Capital, a significant financial structuring firm based in Brazil. Vert Capital was able to tokenize $130 million in our green industry in 2025. This seems to me to be perhaps agricultural. The term is unfamiliar to me. This endeavor on the XRP ledger showed how tokenization can increase access to credit assets and unlock liquidity in markets that are typically opaque. Because of its quick settlement, cheap costs, robust security, and simple token creation features, XRP Ledger is preferred for these jobs. The XRP Ledger's integrated decentralized exchange allows investors to trade these asset-backed tokens, increasing fractional ownership and liquidity. In order to further integrate the blockchain into Brazil's financial infrastructure, Ripple itself contributed to the construction of solutions for asset management and credit issuance. Additionally, there are various events taking place on XTC. I'll leave it up on the screen here for that 1 second if you want to read it. You can pause it and look at it. Brazil is a center for tokenization, which has wider implications and market trends. With significant projects on the XTC ledger and the XTC network, Brazil is becoming a leader in the Latin American tokenization market. International financial giants like Guggenheim and Circle are entering the ecosystem, and other platforms like Mercado Bitcoin are using the XRP ledger to tokenize hundreds of millions of dollars worth of assets. Widened tokenized real-world assets enhances fractional ownership and asset liquidity, increases the transparency and auditability of financial products, simplifies trading, settlement, and management through blockchain rails, lowers counterparty risk, and permits access to international investors that was previously impossible with legacy systems. Therefore, you would have to locate a broker and a third party, go through all of these hassles, and pay these extra fees if you were living abroad and wanted to purchase an asset here in the United States. You may now accomplish all of this on your own with a single button click and a wallet. Therefore, I wanted to gain a better understanding. We will discuss this in more detail shortly. Let me quickly demonstrate this for you. Thus, the only topic of discussion we have at Axelar regarding real-world assets is which chain. I will now play this for you and explain how it will affect the XRP ledger in the future. The main ledger of XRP can easily communicate with the VM sidechain. To your point, it essentially functions as a single, cohesive environment, correct? Subsequently, the sidechain turns into a sandbox where users can deploy and modify their own content. But we don't want to break up users' experiences. To your point, we don't want to break up liquidity, do we? Therefore, the general message forwarding is basically the primitive that would enable you to communicate as though you were in a single chain. However, we now have another robust backend that you can utilize and share with developers, correct? As a result, you have the option of deploying items at the consensus layer, such as those that are audited and reliable when they're ready, or at the EVM smart contract layer. However, that interoperability makes DevEx and UX seamless, which is what we've been aiming for the past few years, and I believe it's crucial that you guys are using that strategy because, in my opinion, fragmentation is the biggest killer in this situation at the moment, for developers as well as users throughout the entire area. For example, while considering RWAs and moving them forward, if we don't provide, people must have the impression that they are living in a single setting. Yes, exactly, while avoiding getting ripped apart by several chains. The block on the XRP ledger isn't the block that released a hit piece. In any case, let's get over this. Our goal is to tokenize the 100 trillion XRP ledger. The total assets under custody at DTCC's Central Security Depository exceed 100 trillion. Keep in mind that they handle between $2 and $3 quadrillion annually. Naturally, it falls under custodians and wallets when you start looking at the real-world asset tokenization ecosystem map, which includes Ripple and Medeco. Ripple is at the forefront of a lot of things when you look at this enormous ecosystem of development and implementation. Then it states that a fresh paper examining the benefits is available on the Ripple homepage. Okay, folks, I'll let you handle that. I hope you gained some knowledge. Please like the video if you did. You can also share it with someone else if you'd like. I wish you a wonderful and fortunate weekend. I appreciate your help. It has changed my life. You people are the reason it's been so amazing.